Hello and welcome to another episode of Audio Scrawl. I'm Kang.
This is Brandon.
And today is September 2nd, 2016. And how have you been since last time?
Fantastic. I'm tired today. Not too tired now, but I woke up this morning feeling beaten, tired, exhausted.
Right on. Nothing happened?
Oh, things happen, my friend. Went to the Salt Lake Comic Con yesterday. It's going on this weekend. But me and my girlfriend were just keeping it simple. We just went there for Thursday. Just a $20 pass. Nice and easy. After I was done with work, just head down there. And I'll tell you, though, it's a lot different going there than it was before. Because in the past, we try to get there. And we know the parking places to go to. And it's worked out for us pretty good.
Yeah.
Prices have been decent. But this year, not so easy. I didn't bother with City Creek. They had a sign, but I think it's kind of telling people like, hey, parking's going to be very limited. Got this event going on. And it's like, all right. So
well, we park at the hotel, right?
The price of the hotel is $20.
Okay. So they were smart.
Yes, they were, but I wasn't feeling for spending $20.
But City Creek's cheaper, then.
Yeah, but then I'd probably be like searching for parking spots. I kind of don't feel like driving around and trying to find a spot. I mean, I guess I could and would have saved some money, but no, I just went a little bit further out. Found a parking lot that's just $15, maybe about like 3 blocks away.
City Park would have been cheaper still. When did you guys go? Because I know isn't the first 2 hours of City Creek is free? Because if it's free for the first 2 hours, then the third hour is only like what, $3?
Yeah, but I just kind of wasn't like in a mood of like maybe I don't know how much time I was gonna spend like finding a spot. Like if someone's gonna leave and then I can take over their spot, and I know I wouldn't be the only person down there.
Or
So I just
and instead you risk looking for a spot 3 blocks away.
I feel like we went through that last year, and
last year we just went to the hotel.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if we were there for all 3 days or we were just there for 2 days last year.
I was there for all 3 days. You might have not. Because who went last year? Was Na last year?
Yeah, Na was last year.
Okay.
And I can't remember if we went there for Thursday. I mean, we should have.
We should have. Yeah.
It should have, because we would have gone the weekend pass. Mm-hmm. Probably gold.
We probably did. Yeah. Because if I remember correctly, it was you, Na, and Janelle who was going.
Yeah.
And then I decided to come.
Yeah.
That Thursday, because I know I wasn't going to make it Thursday. I was only going to make it 2 days.
And then Friday,
because I was working.
Yeah.
And then I opted to come in Thursday all 3 days.
Yeah, and then Friday. Yeah, I think it worked out that way. Because I wonder if.
Well, anyways.
Yeah. Let's not dwell on that. All right. So moving on. Enough with the parking. We got the parking, $15. That's fine. We walked. We get to the south exit over there, and we knew where to go, so they kept it consistent. Once we got in, checked our bags, then we waited in line to pick up our ticket. Line was going pretty good. It had a nice flow. We were moving.
Well, didn't you pick it up earlier?
No, I didn't do that. I just didn't feel like driving down 30 miles to pick up my pass and then drive back home. I just didn't feel like dealing with that.
Okay.
I think that worked out just fine because we might have waited in line for between 20 to 30 minutes. So I don't think it was that bad of a wait. We got in and sure enough, right there, Artist Alley. I think it's smart to always have the Artist Alley next to the pickup line or the ticket.
The main entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I think. Yeah, I feel like Comic Con should be all about the artists and the people who are involved in the industry. And I think gives them a shot of grabbing some attention and people interest. Even if they walk by and didn't plan on buying anything, they saw stuff, so they could come back later. But who knows? But
I half agree with that statement because it's all about the celebrities. Nobody comes to Comic Con for the artists,
right?
Everybody comes for the celebrities.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's a good idea to have it right there, where it is, because that is the goal for people is to see the celebrity, all the guests who are there. My girlfriend kept saying she kind of felt like the experience. She kept saying it seems smaller. So I would argue with her that I don't think it's smaller. I think it's pretty good because there's a lot of vendors out there that I'm aware of who are there.
I would also argue it's a Thursday.
So what she really means about that it's smaller, she's talking about like the previous years, there's none of the gigantic vendors. She's talking about Weta. She likes Weta. The guys that did Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, they're there. They have like this very big, pretty cool looking like vendor booth where it's just all
Weta, Lord of the Rings, Evermore. Not happening anymore.
No, not happening this year. There's no Torpedo comics this year either. Yeah, a little disappointed because I was hoping to see like what books they're carrying. Maybe I might buy something half off, but they're not there.
So what do you guys see? What did you guys see?
Well, we didn't check out any panels because me and Janelle are really into the artworks and the Artist Alley. But my goal was to meet Steve Lieber and have him sign my Superior Foes of Spider-Man omnibus. So that was what I was trying to get done first. That was my goal. And eventually we found him. Pretty nice that they had a directory there too. And he was a really cool guy. It was fun to talk to. Kind of ask him some questions about like making the book and then what's going on with this current project, which is The Fix, which is another really good, funny series. And so it was easy. Came up to him. I just asked him, hey, could I get an autograph on my book? Oh, you brought your book? Great. Let me sign it. And he just signed his name. Then he drew an image on it. And then he opened up the book and there was a part that he said Marvel took out. So he drew in a character that's like it's like a imaginary or daydream where the guy murders his lawyer, but it's kind of like very cartoony looking. And the final panel, he drew like with the yellow marker, he drew the guy urinating on his dead body, and he signed it. So I thought that was funny. I liked it.
Okay. Well, other than that, you guys didn't see any celebrities? No celebrities?
So we walked by. No. I mean, I took some pictures. My phone was dying. I mean, I was really rushing to get there. And a little ill-prepared.
Did you bring your DSLR?
No. Kept it light because I am carrying an omnibus after all.
Okay.
And, I didn't want to carry too much stuff.
Hey, just put it all in your bag.
Kotobukiya is there this year. I had to look for them.
Oh, really?
Yep. And it's a lot better than at Anime Expo. Baffles me because Kotobukiya is a Japanese figurine or toy manufacturing company.
Yes.
So they have like a lot of anime figures. But when we saw their booth over at Anime Expo, it's just this small little booth like in the corner. They got a couple of figurines displayed, but I kind of thought, well, it's a little disappointing and it's not very neat looking or.
Maybe it's because they know, like, every other store is their competition.
I guess. I mean, but look at Good Small Company. And Kotobukiya, they're doing pretty good. They're a pretty good competitor. I mean, Good Small just happens to be bigger, but Kotobukiya could have done the same thing if they just promoted themselves and put themselves out there more.
Promote and pre-order. Allow pre-orders.
It's all about the pre-orders, but... over at Salt Lake Comic Con, however, of course, it's different. They're focusing more on like the Marvel and DC Comics statues and figurines, as well as the Bishojo, but they're focusing more on the hero characters. But they got like their other statues, like the artifacts, and they just have an excellent display. It's a very nice booth, I think. It has like the figurines all displayed up, lit up very well. Take pictures of it and go up, and they're stocked full of the figurines, all the boxes.
Well, it's good. It's good that they came. It's good to make It's good to make a good first impression.
I like the company, and it's huge that they're there this year too.
Yes.
So I hope I'm actually pretty confident that they're going to do pretty good this weekend because yesterday being Thursday, there was a good amount of people over there. But that's why I want to be there on Thursday because it's nice, it's chill, it's easy to get around, and it just gets more hectic. Today is probably going to be bad, and then tomorrow being Saturday. The 3rd, it'll be the most hectic time ever. And I just didn't feel like spending a lot of money to be in the most hectic place of them all.
It's nice. I like the atmosphere.
Yeah, I still do. It's good. It's good fun. Well, okay, something did ruin my experience yesterday. Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon Go ruined my experience yesterday. I'll tell you why. Well, I mean, so...
It ruins everybody's experience. Don't worry.
So, when you're at a convention, when you're in the exhibit hall, I mean, it's a very, very big place, but with all the vendors there, the way it's set up.
It's very narrow.
It can be narrow, and you want to keep a flow going. And, on occasion, people are in front of you, they slow down, they want to look at something, and they're not keeping that flow going, they're just in your way. But I've had quite a few people who, like, all of a sudden, like, have a flow, like, they're moving at a pace, and then they stop in front of me. almost like hitting them, or I have to avoid them, or they just slow down. And I see them like playing Pokemon Go in the exhibit hall.
Nice. Like, what are you guys playing Pokemon Go for? You're in Salt Lake Comic Con. You guys could play Pokemon Go anytime.
Look, I like handhelds. I like 3DS. I like Vita. Maybe there's a couple of games I like to play on my smartphone, but there's some places, like a comic convention, even if it's an anime convention, you're in the exhibit hall. That is not the place to be playing your smartphone or playing any like mobile games or handheld games.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and also there's so much to see over there. Why are you spending money to be there, and then you're just playing Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
I mean, that's on them, on like what they want to do and how they're going to spend their time there. But I'm there to like check out all the vendors. I want to see all that's there. Who knows? Maybe if I meet a celebrity, cool, that's awesome. But that wasn't my goal. I wasn't worried about it. But yeah, they ruined it. Okay. I feel like. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another time Pokemon Go ruins lives. Anyways.
We went further back in the back area. I think they kind of cleared up that narrow hall area pretty good. Mm-hmm. That one year where they had the T-shirt, the Salt Lake Comic Con, like their merchandise booth in there. Yeah, like just blocks the flow of things. And they have it much more cleared up, which I'm glad they did. But I still don't like that area. It's very off. Like, I don't like it. So we go in the back, and there's a lot more vendors over there. And this is at the point where me and my girlfriend are arguing, where she kind of feels like it seems smaller. But as I'm walking by these are vendors where I'm like, these are like people I'm aware of. That documentary about what is it? The Death of Superman Lives? That documentary
with John Stepp, is that him? The Death of Superman Lives.
Yeah, like it's a documentary about like the failure of the movie.
Yeah, okay.
So the guys that filmed it, that made it, they were there.
Yeah, okay. So John Snow was there.
Yeah, so we were like in the back over there, and I see all these vendors, but I caught them. They're right there, sitting down there. They have the Blu-rays all stacked up and probably ready to sell them. And I saw them and going, "Oh, cool! Like there's a lot going on back here." But that's where the argument comes in, because she's looking around, and so she sees these vendors and has no interest. But me, I know like who these guys are, and I see the other vendors go, no, these are good stuff. These are people who are like involved in the industry. This is kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
So I got all excited. I thought, this is really cool. But I'm trying to pace myself on like what I'm purchasing, what I'm looking out for. But I just want to be there for the experience and stuff. And I walked by the autograph booth, same place that they were before. The food court, they definitely closed off a little bit more. They were really utilizing the space. Okay. So I feel like there were a lot more vendors. A lot of the space were being utilized.
And the food court makes sense if they feel like, hey, there hasn't been that much vendors this year or the previous year. It's like, sure, the food court's bigger. But if there's more vendors this year, of course they're going to minimize the area.
I mean, there's still a food court, but where that area where they have like tabletop gaming and stuff, it's kind of like the Kid Con area. But then that's also where they made the food court at, in that corner there instead. So I think that works out better. So they're always trying new things.
All right, so so overall, what did you think? Pretty good.
I liked it. Yeah, I think it's really good. My girlfriend would argue against me. She kind of doesn't feel like the exhibit hall is as great as previous years. I think it's excellent. I feel like it's attracted a lot more bigger names. Walking around Artist Alley, there's a lot more well-known people that I'm familiar with who are there, and just got chatting with them. But we get lost in that area. We like it.
Right on. So so if you guys are still. So by the time you guys hear this podcast, if this Comic Con is still going on, go ahead and check it out. It's fun. Otherwise, check it out next year when it
fan experience.
Not fan experience. Check out the real Salt Lake Comic Con.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with fan experience. Come on.
There's nothing wrong except it's like half the fun.
How do we know? Like, dude, it gets bigger every year. Maybe it's gonna be awesome.
No, that's a lie. It does not get bigger every year. It actually got smaller one year.
That 1 year, that one sucked. I wasn't too happy about that, but I'll give it a shot next time, maybe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so go ahead and check it out. Yep. Okay, so speaking of comics related news, still, did you see the post from Ben Affleck? The post of The post he made on his Facebook.
I heard about it.
Oh, you didn't see the video?
No, I didn't see the video.
He posted a video. I guess it was a test screening of Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just the character Deathstroke. Mm-hmm. He was just kind of walking up to the camera. The background, he's in like some sort of facility, factory, warehouse. Probably green screen because the camera panned away to the right a little. And you saw the smoke machine and the green screen behind it. So a lot of people are speculating that it might be Deathstroke is the main antagonist in the new Batman solo film. What do you think of that news?
I think that's pretty cool. Like Deathstroke in there, I think he fits in. I mean, even though I guess he's known for being like a major villain or arch nemesis of the Teen Titans, and then we've seen him in the Arrow series. But I think he fits in the world of Batman just fine.
Yeah, because he is a Batman villain, right?
Well, no, he's
not really.
He's not like Batman's regular rogue, like not part of Batman's rogue gallery.
But he is a Batman villain, and then he's also been portrayed as an anti-hero sometimes. Yeah. But I do like the idea of Deathstroke being one of the new Batman's antagonists, just because that is a guy who can go toe to toe with Batman in like physicality and mentally. Like he knows how to take down his prey, and he knows how to combat hand-to-hand combat.
Oh yeah.
So I would definitely love to see the fight scenes with this.
There's so much to choose from. I'm rarely disappointed with many of Batman's rogue gallery, and I'm okay with Deathstroke. He goes up there, but I still would like the traditional rogues, but someone that we haven't used before. I think it still would be cool if Clayface would be a villain in a Batman movie, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, and it makes sense for Deathstroke.
Yeah, exactly.
Because once they introduce Deathstroke, if they don't kill him off, and if rumors are true, they could introduce him back into the Teen Titans movie.
I hope they don't kill him off, actually, because that's what I like about The Dark Knight, the way it ended, or how the Joker was taken. The character, spoilers, but the character was not killed. Hey, he was arrested or he was captured.
Too bad it didn't matter in the end.
Yeah,
it's a shame, but can't be helped.
Yeah, so that would work out. I'm very curious what they're gonna do with that because there's still stuff to do with that. You talking about Deathstroke? I started thinking about the other announcement of another Justice League movie. It's always been announced, but finally they seem to be picking up steam off on that.
Okay.
The Justice League Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have Deathstroke. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like if he lives and he could be like he could have his own movie, or he can be in other films too. And you were the one that told me about Justice League Dark. They have the characters lined up for it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they talked about the director who would do it, and the guy's been he was involved with the Jason Bourne films.
He was involved with some of the beginning ones.
He directed the first movie.
The first one.
He's been executive producer of the other films.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe, what's his name? Guillermo del Toro, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro is still one of the producers of that film. So, because he was name dropped as a director for like the longest time,
mm-hmm.
and so if he's still a producer on it, that sounds good. It's still part of his project, so
I'm excited for this movie. I really want this to happen. I think it'll be great. Have Constantine and Swamp Thing in it. And you got other characters. And
Zatanna.
Yeah.
Deadman.
I think those are like the core characters in the comics. But man, I gotta check it out. I really need to start reading them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so that's all Justice League Dark. Anything else, or are we ready to move on to the next topic?
Next topic.
Okay, so what's going on in the gaming world?
Square's been doing some announcements here and there, but most of these announcements, or half of them, are about mobile games, and I don't care. I guess they're doing well, like Mobius Final Fantasy. I can't remember anything else, but the one news I'm always excited to hear about is updates for Dissidia for the arcade. It's that one game that I'm just wondering, like, how long do we have to wait until it comes out for PlayStation 4? I don't feel like that game is going to come out until like another year or two now.
I know. They keep announcing new characters for the arcade version.
Well, they finally are bringing out villain characters. You got Garland and Kefka. I mean, that should be no surprise that the villain characters are going to be in it because the first two games has, 12 villain characters that we know of each game. So they got to be in it. And the fact that they've introduced Garland and Kefka, that would mean like the rest will be coming back. They announced new characters who are going to be in it. Well, okay, this one's not a new character, and this one made me smile because, again, it sounds like they're maybe trying to keep all the characters in there. They announced Kain. Kain is going to be in it from Final Fantasy IV. So he appeared in Dual Decim. So it makes me think that other characters like Tifa will be in it. And recently, they announced that Ace from Final Fantasy Type 0 is going to be in the game. So I'm happy that they made that announcement. I think that was cool. The protagonist from the Type 0 game. And it's,
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to the game. Especially, hopefully they announce a console version soon. Because we do know that Sony was involved in the making of this game. And the arcade is running on a upgraded PlayStation 4 specs. That's what they say.
Yeah, but my concern is that the pacing of this game and bringing out all the characters, I'm getting worried that I'm getting kind of bored or I'm losing my hype for the game.
Right. Hey, so how I feel about Tekken 7. I already know everything about Tekken 7 because it was in the arcades for still in the arcades for 2 years now. So
yep, true. Speaking of arcades and fighting games, how's your progress in King of Fighters 14?
Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I'd be in story mode with like 5 teams already, I believe. I'd be with 5 teams, and then I did like 8 characters trials already.
Yeah, I did a few trials. Some of them are not too bad. And there are some, like, I tried Andy Bogart, and he kind of annoyed me. Or I should say, his combos are good. Like, it gives me ideas when I do the trials, but some of the trials, what they are asking me to do, like, annoyed me. The input is just really, really tight.
Yeah, this game takes a ton of time of dedication. Ton of dedication to get good at this game because it is not friendly for newcomers, no. I would say. I guess, and one thing I do want to say is, last time we talked about King of Fighters, we talked about the netcode, and I was like, hey, if King of Fighters, if SNK are serious about the coming back, they'll go ahead and patch it up, and lo and behold, they came out with the patch and patched up the netcode. So
yeah,
it's running a lot better now.
The game's getting excellent reception though, and it puts a smile on my face. It sounds like they might be doing good. I think we're, based on the sales of the game, I think it's more dedicated towards the global market. But we'll see. But I hope it works out. It succeeds so they can make other games like another Samurai Showdown game.
Yeah, well, we already know, the port of Mark of the Wolf's coming, so.
Yeah. Excited for that one. I would like to get that game. Yeah, so I'm still enjoying that game. I like it. It's very addicting. It's fun. Alright, so that's about for King of Fighters. Any other announcement for you on video games?
No, nothing much. Do you have anything to say?
I have like a topic or a discussion because I'm always still fascinated about like what's going on like with Final Fantasy 15. We all know that Final Fantasy 15 got delayed, but it's just I keep thinking about like what's been going on with these games because here we have Persona 5 coming out in Japan. Around this time?
Yes.
September?
September.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15 has been delayed, I'm assuming, like, both in Japan and America, because globally,
yes.
Yeah. But then Persona 5 is region.
It's a shame. I don't... It is a shame, because that's just a long wait, It comes out in September in Japan, then... Spoilers are out, People who do know Japanese are going to import it.
Yeah.
Videos are going to be out online. Websites, even the video game websites are going to, hey, here's an import impression. Here's the review of it. And then we have to wait, 6 months until it releases?
I just avoid them.
Me too, but go ahead and just just sub it,
Yeah.
and then dub the DLC later or something. Because I would rather have the game a month later, just no English, than just patch it in, and instead of waiting for an exclusive dub only and waiting 6 months later.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's very fun that the idea that we have Persona 5 and Final Fantasy 15, these two games, these amazing role-playing game franchises just so close together like this for the PlayStation 4.
It was so close anyway.
Yeah.
Especially in Japan. I think...
Well, it doesn't change anything because, like you said, Persona 5, we won't be getting it until next year.
It does change a lot, actually. Persona 5 definitely, in my opinion, they got a break. Because Final Fantasy was totally going to eat into Persona 5 sales.
Yeah.
Because the Persona series I see is a much bigger franchise outside of Japan.
Yeah.
As compared to Final Fantasy, which is a huge, franchise out globally.
Yeah.
So for Square Enix to just like, sorry, we're not ready yet, moving 2 months later, totally increased Persona's 5 sales and I guess decreased Final Fantasy 15 sales.
Yeah. I heard that the reason that Final Fantasy 15 is being delayed is there's all these content coming out, and I guess they're going to have like a big patch for the game as well to make sure it runs smoother. And I think they just decided that they realized that there's probably a lot of consumers who don't have internet or they don't have internet access, or they're not going to rely on online too much. So they want to put all the updates in the disc.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say the game was going to have a pretty big day one patch, and instead of having that day one patch, they're going to delay it 2 weeks or 2 months. Sorry. And incorporate all that patch into the game itself. The game is done at Gamescom 2016. They did say the demo was off the gold, of the game that already went gold in August. So the game's done.
Yeah.
So now they're just putting in the disc. And I kind of don't buy that. I mean, the game's not ready. But whatever. I can't even complain because a delay game, them delaying a game can only mean fixing more bugs.
I'm okay with that.
And I'm not, going to argue with that.
Yeah. I'd rather have a good Final Fantasy 15 game or a good Final Fantasy game that runs well than having a broken game that's like, well, why don't you just make it turn-based? So we'll see. So what I want to ask you is Atlas versus Square. Why do you feel that? Like, who do you prefer more right now in this state of the market between these two companies? Atlas, is like your typical RPG company or a game developer, and then you have Square, which is a bigger company. Who do you find more appealing?
As of right now, that's a hard decision because Atlas don't make much. They don't make that many games.
No,
they make. Was it Persona and then the Shin Megami Tensei games that's on the handheld platforms and stuff. But other than that, I barely played handheld, so. And then Square Enix, they're a much bigger company. And then they do also have, are we counting the Western development? Because they do have Eidos.
Yeah, why not?
Then I definitely prefer.
Because I think it's part of them.
Because I definitely prefer Square Enix right now, then.
Yeah?
Because they do have a much stronger output of games, Even, people may not like the episodic content of the new Hitman, but those are great levels of Hitman so far. Deus Ex has a lot of potential going on, and then the newest one wasn't too bad.
I've been hearing quite a bit about Hitman. It's kind of weird for me that it's such a weird thing that they're doing right now, but I've heard strong positive things about those levels that I might be interested in buying the whole game. Like when the game comes out, it's all complete, all compiled together. I think I'd like to get that.
And then they came out with Star Ocean, which was pretty meh. But even still, for them to just come out with a new Star Ocean this generation is kind of crazy. And then compare that to Atlas, which is like, well, we have a Persona dancing game for the 3DS. We have Vita. For the Vita. we have a chibi Persona side story, version for the 3DS, and then we have a Persona 5, which is still in the works.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the company might have been working on the handheld because probably marketing for the Japanese demographic, but they happen to like work out in America or in the global market because they do have a pretty good fan following.
Yeah, not to mention Square Enix has Tokyo RPG Factory, and with I Am Setsuna, I'm playing it right now, is really good so far.
I like it.
Really good.
There's rumors going around that I think Square registered a trademark for a title where something about the title sounds very similar to the Japanese title of I Am Setsuna. So there's rumors going around that our Idea RPG Factory... Is it Idea RPG Factory?
Tokyo.
I don't know why I got Idea in there.
Idea Factory.
Idea Factory, that's the problem. Mm-hmm. Tokyo RPG Factory. There's rumors that they got another project to work on.
That's good. That's nice.
I want them to have another project. I don't want this company to shut down. Like, I'm very hopeful because I think they... I feel like they got a pretty good game to introduce themselves. I like what they got, and I want to see more.
Yeah, same. So, but with that said, I definitely... My interest is still in favor of Square Enix, just because they do have more interesting games that are coming out.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping Persona 5 will change things more for Atlas because I really like the company. I think they did a really good job, like putting content, putting stories, putting character development in their games, creating these worlds. What game was it? Etrian Odyssey. Etrian Odyssey. I don't like dungeon crawler RPGs, and I played a demo of Etrian Odyssey. I've heard so much about that series that I tried the demo, and for the first time ever, I was actually intrigued with the game. I was very fascinated. I like the style, I like the visuals, I like the music, and I just like the company, and just I'm looking forward to seeing what more they can do, and I hope Persona 5 will change it where they get a little bit bigger, but still like them to kind of keep where they are. I do like them to kind of be like smaller than Square. It's still appealing to me, but yeah, I have to agree that if Final Fantasy 15 really works out and we keep doing stuff like utilizing Tokyo RPG Factory, yeah, I would find more support for Square once again, and I would love that.
Oh yeah, I don't think Atlas has anything to worry about because Persona 3 has already cemented them as a fantastic RPG company.
It did,
yeah.
So many fans of theirs too. It's worked out. So, anyways, I'm done with that conversation. It's a fun topic I want to bring up.
All right. Okay, I guess we're going into the final topic of our podcast, and that is upcoming in just 5 more days, September 7th, PlayStation Meeting 2016 is happening.
Yes.
And from there, they are going to announce the PlayStation Neo. Okay, so... What do you think? So let's say, how do you think they start off with this? How do they open with the PlayStation Mini? Let's say, someone, Mark Cerny or Andrew House or even Song Lady walks out on stage or something and they talk about it. How do they introduce this console?
I feel like it's about when they introduce this console. And that's a tough one. It really is, because they have to be very careful on introducing it and how they communicate this system, the specs, the information. Why do we care? And I think the timing is very important. I don't think they should talk about it first thing when they start. I think maybe close. Like they should introduce something. They should have some kind of announcement. And that should be the second thing.
They should have a montage. About. Is that what you're saying? Like how Sony always does.
And this is where I'm conflicted. I don't think I want them to do a montage.
No.
My mind keeps going to E3. I really dug that opening of God of War. Mm-hmm. I think that's a fun way of opening things up, just to get excited.
But I don't think they're going to open up with an orchestra again.
No, and they shouldn't either. Why? Like, why should they repeat themselves? They should do the same thing. But just something that kind of creates like this nice build up, and then it creates a nice surprise.
So, what do you think that build up would be, in your opinion? What should that build-up be?
It's got to be something to throw us off. That's what I like about the orchestra. You just have like this grand show going on. It's pretty epic. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't have to be an orchestra. It's tricky though. I mean, they could do, they could throw people off by doing some kind of like practical joke or something.
I don't think a joke works in this type of setting.
Nah.
Just because it is not an E3 and it is not a PlayStation. A PlayStation. What was that? What's that one they hold in December? A PlayStation fan experience, pretty much. Mm-hmm. It's not that. So it's not. This is a PlayStation meeting. This is almost, I want to say, a more serious tone.
Yeah.
They have to use.
All right.
So
let me try this again.
Okay.
I have a pretty neat idea. This is how they're going to open it. They show off the Crash Bandicoot compilation games. They just show off like how it's going to be on the PlayStation 4. Get people excited. I'd be excited. I think I'm very interested in the Crash Bandicoot games, and then talk about the Neo. Mm-hmm. I think that's when they should announce it, is afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think For me personally, I think they open up with a montage of the history of PlayStation.
Okay.
Like here's our PlayStation. This is why we created. This is why we came into the gaming business. These are the games that came with it, and then of course it'll transition from PS1 to PS2, PS2 to PS3, and then PS3 to PS4 games. And then after that's done, blah 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 for the players or something like that. Greatness awaits. Sean Layden comes out, or Kaz Hirai. Someone from Sony comes out and say, "Hey, all those games are going to be backwards compatible."
Damn it, King! I was thinking of that this whole time. I wanted to say it.
Neo.
Yep, that's what I want. That's ultimately what I want out of the PlayStation Neo.
And then with that said, that sets the stage. Everybody's happy. Everyone's hyped up.
It's the best way to sell the console.
It is. It really is. And then after that, then they go into talking about the future. So this is the specs of what's happening. Here's the specs. Here's what you can expect of the PlayStation Neo. And then, so what do you think they say about it? How powerful do you think the PlayStation 4 is?
Well, the current console or the Neo?
The Neo, I guess the Neo I was talking about. Do you think there was rumors because... Okay, so these are two rumors. The first rumor is that Microsoft got caught off guard when they knew the PlayStation Neo existed. It was real. Microsoft was also currently in the works of the Scorpio already, but they were not ready for Sony to be this ready to release the Neo. And so E3 happened, and they dropped the Scorpio announcement just to take fire off of PlayStation to the Sony's conference, E3 conference, just in case they do announce the Neo. And now that Microsoft has announced the Scorpio, and hey, it's literally, because it's not a half step, it's literally a console generation.
Yeah.
And so the next rumor is that Sony might went back and try to upgrade the specs a little, make it a little bit more powerful. Maybe overclock all the CPUs or whatever, just to make this a little bit more powerful when it comes out, to not feel less powerful when the Scorpio launches next winter holiday season.
Yeah.
So how powerful do you think the Neo is comparatively?
I'm not great at reading out system specs, and
okay.
It's hard for me to kind of explain how much more powerful it can be.
Okay.
What's kind of frustrating about the PlayStation 4, the visuals and the graphics, is the jump from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. It's been great, but doesn't really quite wow me. I mean, it's not like Nintendo 64 moving to GameCube or jumping on to GameCube. I mean, that was incredible, and I kind of don't feel that kind of wow from the jump between PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. So I can't say if that's going to happen with the Neo. And I do care more about the performance of the system. I do want these games to be running really well. I want them to start minimizing installation time of the games that goes into the hard drive, if that's what they're going for still. And
that's just the that's standard. That's just the law of diminishing returns. Like no, like the more powerful we get, just you can only go so photorealistic before it stopped being photorealistic. So
yes.
So with more graphical power, we get more photorealistic. We get more realism. We get more realism until to the point of, because the jump from PS2 to PS3 was huge.
Yes.
We saw it. Everybody saw it. But from the jump to PS3, which is already a fairly powerful console at the time, to the PS4, was pretty powerful, but you can only do so much visually.
Yes.
Before, so now you're not looking at this is so many polygons, blah, blah, blah. Now you're looking at, the shaders are fantastic. The light rays are reflecting off of everything better. The textures should still looks the same, but it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what you're going for now. Yeah, because it just can't be helped. That's just how it's going to be.
But yeah, I just want solid games for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how do you think? Well, I guess for what I think it's just going to be. I think it might just be. The rumors are so far that's going to be at least twice as powerful.
Okay.
I think Sony might be overclocking that a little bit more, so it might be 2.5, maybe even 3 times more powerful than the current PS4, just to make it not seem so.
It's worth buying.
Yeah,
let's just say
out of tech when the Scorpio launches next year. That's just because rumors are also saying that development kits should be going out. Final development kits should be going out when this PlayStation meeting happens.
Okay.
So the specs are set in stone. Unless Sony delays the entire release date, the specs are set. Okay, so what do you think? How should Sony market this? What do you think their marketing message is going to be?
That's a tricky one.
Come on, Bachelor of Marketing. Come on.
They need to stick with what they're doing already, which has been very helpful to them, which is just communicating to the gamers. It's all about games. It's worked for them very, very well for PlayStation 4. That's why PlayStation 4 is selling so well. Because Microsoft were fumbling with their messages and their communication. That it's a console for everyone, but they just keep talking. They don't talk about the games too much. They just focus on sports and
sports and connects and apps.
Yeah, and the PlayStation 4 with the VR coming out, they really need to communicate about why should we care about this console, and how is it going to enhance the experience? How is it going to work with the VR too? Because for VR to work very well, we have to know is it worth getting this console to have with the VR? How's it going to enhance the experience? Will the games be playing better? Is the experience going to be different than the PlayStation 4? They need to start talking about that. They need to address the issue there because they're launching the VR.
Yeah,
this year.
Not specifically the VR because that should be the same across both. I'm assuming frame rate wise, but they need to address I guess, and it almost can't be helped. The difference between the PS4 and the PS4 Neo's graphics fidelity.
And then to market the Neo, especially if they're communicating that it's going to be much more powerful than the PlayStation 4, assure people that this is not on the same level as the PlayStation 4. They need to share. They need to tell people nope, this is the next step. This is either it is the next gen or the possible next gen, or it's above the PlayStation 4. They need to communicate with that because I think it'll help consumers feel better about what they're buying. There's people out there that want to buy a PlayStation 4, but there's people who keep track of the news and kind of feel wait, I don't want to buy the PlayStation 4 right now because there's another console coming out. Should I get it? Should I not get it? And when they tell people, hey, this is the next gen console, some people kind of feel a little bit better and they might go ahead and buy a PlayStation 4. Maybe they might announce a price drop. I don't know. But I think it'll give people a better idea of what to expect in the future. That, hey, there's a more powerful game console coming out. I have a choice of either getting ready to get that for launch, or I'm not worried about that. Let me get a new console right now that I can afford, and then I'll get that down the line.
Yeah. I think for me personally, Sony should market this as what's that word I'm looking for? A premium gaming experience.
Yes.
And I do hate saying that, but it can't be helped because some people are going to be mad no matter what Sony's going to do, just because there is going to be a performance difference,
Yes.
It's just no helping it. So with them said, like, hey, we are going to allow you to. There's also rumors going to happen. GameStop is going to have a trade-in program. Like, you trade in your PS4 now and get pre-order the PS Neo for this much off. Which is a good idea. Which is a smart idea. They do it with every console. It's like, okay, so now I can trade in my PS4, upgrade it. Have the better hardware. Have the better. Jeez, I'm losing my speech here.
It's okay.
Have the better, specs, the console, the game frame rate, whatever, and we do know the Slim is happening. It's out in the wild, and so for people who don't want that and just wants to play games, have a cheap console coming out. Like, hey, here's the PlayStation 4. It's going to work with every game. Is going to work for both the regular console and like the PS4 Neo. And so you can still play those games, but here's a cheaper, console for you to purchase it, like maybe even like $250 or something. And then they just market that, and then and I want them to just market it like, this is for the gamers. Everything's going to be backwards compatible and forward compatible. So when the next PlayStation console does come out, whenever that comes out, you could just transfer everything over. Downloadable game wise, Blu-ray disc wise, physical wise, accessory wise, have it all compatible forward. Forward.
Let's talk about this because let me not cut you off yet.
No,
is there anything else? Yeah. Okay.
I'm done with that marketing anyways. Go ahead.
I really like the idea, and I'm really crossing my fingers hoping they do this. That what I like about the PlayStation 3 is their PlayStation 1 library, the PlayStation Store. I love it, and I also like that it has a store for the Vita. I kind of think it's nice to have where you can purchase an item and download it into your Vita. It's just a nice shopping center. PS4 irritates me that it doesn't have those. I wish the PS1 games I purchased from PlayStation 3. I wish I could play them on my PS4 because I like the PS4 to be like the one console, like to play all those games. That's fine if I have to stick with the PS3 to play PS3 games. I'm cool with that. It's just the other downloads, like the PS1. I would love to play those on the current console.
Yeah.
So that's what I want them to fix for the Neo and fix the PlayStation Store is, include the PS1 libraries and include the PS2 libraries. The PS1, I could care less if they're going to add trophy and stuff. I just want them to perform well. Make my old games have value still. Because I'd still like to go back and play them. I still would like to continue that tradition of playing Castlevania in October. But, I don't turn the PS3 too often. Sometimes it sucks to do updates. I mean, I don't have to do that. If I want to play an old game, I can just do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I think that'd be the selling point right there. And you mentioning about the montage, I think that's even a more brilliant idea. I think we have a kind of a similar idea. That's why I brought up Crash Bandicoot, because you have many consumers now where the age demographic are the people who grew up playing Crash Bandicoot when we were like teenagers or kids.
Yeah.
And talking about the classics, that's a good motivation to let people know, like, hey, we're all about the games. We're all about having fun.
Yes. We still haven't forgotten about you, and this is for you guys. And this is for you guys going from here, from the past, thank you. And from here going on forward, it's still going to be about, the gamers.
Because I feel like the games nowadays, it's not... A lot of people are being very nostalgic, and it's not always about having, like, the better visual graphics or higher specs. Sometimes it's about simplicity, too, and bringing people back to, like, their... younger days of, having fun or being happy and just having a good time with these games and characters that they have a lot of attachment to.
Yeah. But it has to be a good game still.
Yeah.
Because every now and then I'm like, oh, cool, an Atari collection. And I buy it. I'm like, oh, all these games are kind of terrible.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Yeah,
but nostalgia. So
right. Well, I mean, man, I have a lot of good times with the PlayStation 1. That's why I don't truly believe like it's a obsolete console. I think they had some really good games back then. I mean, you even got like some safe games like Mega Man X4. Fantastic game.
Yeah.
Mega Man Legends. I mean, I hear like it's fairly good even with nostalgia, but I'm kind of like scared of playing that game. Though, I mean, it has a cult following, but I don't know. But it's nice to have the option.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking about games, so during the PlayStation meeting, it's happening. Do they show off new games?
Okay, so what do you mean by new games? New games that were announced like from E3, show a little bit more, or brand spanking new like announcement?
Brand spanking new announcements, either or. What
like
do you
my
think?
adjectives there.
Yeah,
I'm glad you like it.
Either
anyway.
or. Do you think they should show off new games?
That's a tricky one. It's kind of a yes and no kind of a deal. Yes, they should show like a brand new game, have a brand new announcement.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should be shooting their wad like all over the place. I think keep it restrained. You know, maybe 1, 2 games. But I think 1 game is good enough.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. They do have to be careful because like I do think they need to show off some games. Like, oh, hey, maybe here's all of our first party titles. Like, here's Bloodborne running at 60 frames. Here's Uncharted 4 running at 60 frames. Here's how much better it plays on the PlayStation Neo. And then for like the future, like here's some games that are taking some future games that are taking advantage of the Neo specs. You know, be it exclusive or not. You know, and of course they can't have it Neo. When I'm talking about like exclusive, I'm talking about like multi-platform.
Sure.
So when they show off, let's say the new Rockstar game, like Red Dead, here's a new game that's taking the power of all the new Neo specs, like because I can see people like, so why are you guys showing off? Why are you guys showing that off on the Neo? What does that speak about the regular version? You know. So they kind of have to be careful on that. I do want them to show off some games, of course. You know, like even older games running at higher fidelity, better frame rate and stuff. But yeah, one surprise couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I think that's good because keep it restrained because there's been games that's been announced in the past. I bring up The Order because you got games that's been announced. And some of them, you're all hyped up and they showed it off, looks great, and then it comes out and you kind of realize like it's not really much of an experience for a game. And then you got others where, they announce it and maybe by the time they get released, that's my concern about Dissidia is that you just get burned out by it. You hear the announcement and you're waiting and sometimes you just get overwhelmed to the point like you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So to the next topic, to the next point then, what should the price be? Concerning the PlayStation Slim should be, I do believe that was their, hey, it's going to be out now, and the Slim is out now, or the Slim is out by the end of this week. So consider that into the option also.
If, for me, and the value of it, I gotta think about this. So the power of it, and considering, being a pretty good home entertainment system and having it, go backwards compatible or play older games, I would say $500 or less. Between $400 to $500. That's how I would price it.
Yeah, same. Same for me is because the PlayStation Slim,
preferably under 500, but that's the most I would go. Yeah,
the PS4 Slim should be. I want them to drop it to $250, just because it's less components now to make, cheaper components. It's cheaper to make now, $250, and they'll probably still be making profit off of that. And the PlayStation 4 Neo. I agree. No more than 500, and even with that trade-in bundle, helps it a lot more. Helps it a lot.
Yeah.
So now we're getting it cheaper by trading in our older console. I guess so. When do you think it's going to be released?
Honestly, next next year's fall of 2017.
Fall of 2017?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I'm going with it.
That's crazy.
I know.
I'm thinking November.
Yeah.
Of this year.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
Why do they? That would be crazy. Why would they commit suicide like that? Why would they announce the Slim available now and then announce the fork, the Neo, and just have it wait into an entire year?
It just feels too soon, though. Like it's really cutting it close to the holiday season. I've never seen anything like this before.
I'm saying October at the earliest. The same release date as the VR.
If they can make it, like I'm not gonna say like they shouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I think like that's great. It's more like I'm preparing my expectation.
Okay.
But the latest has got to be like 2017 of like a fall or holiday season because if they can't make it this year, they need plenty of time to hype it up.
Brandon, you're crazy.
Yeah, I am crazy.
No, okay, yeah, they need time to hype it up, and
yeah,
continue your thoughts.
Just preparing the console, make sure everything is working right. Give all the developers time to like make games and have a pretty good, solid lineup for it. Should they do it? No, they shouldn't. But it's just what I think, or that's my expectations. Mm-hmm. Not to get like burned out or keep my hopes up. Because if I'm super hopeful, like you got some people who really, really want. Yeah, maybe I am kind of like backpedaling here because now that I think about it a little bit more, you got people who want PlayStation 4 so bad, and they drop the price down. That could tie them over for another year. Mm-hmm. That could work out just fine, and yeah, that could work. But at the same time, backpedaling, there are people who are aware of the Neo, and they want it now.
Okay, yeah, I think you're crazy for a couple of reasons. The first one is the earlier development leaks of Sony's PlayStation 4 conference. When the rumors first started up, they're like, "Oh, we got some insider information," and that entire conference came out. So, developers starting in September, developers should be patching September games to be compatible with Neo, right. And in October, it's mandatory for every game to be Neo compatible. With that said, games that I do believe is coming out sooner than expected. I want to say earliest is October, in line with the PlayStation VR, because people, and why not? People's wallets are already open. Like, oh, I'm already buying the VR.
Yeah.
So why not buy a console to go with it? And then November, just because it makes sense before Black Friday. But at the latest, I see them is before the end of the fiscal year, which is March. February.
I think maybe like for me to purchase the console, me as a consumer to purchase the console, and I think I came up with my date is because I am not ready to buy this console this year. Not even close. I mean, PlayStation 4 worked out because we found out about it like fairly early, like around April time.
Yeah.
And then came out the same year, came out in fall. And I was ready for it because I got plenty of time to hear about it. And I just went ahead and pre-ordered.
Yeah, and another thing I do think it's not coming out in November is, do you think Sony is going to compete with the Neo against the Scorpio, which is incredibly more powerful than the Neo right now?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to compete with that? No, I don't think they're going to compete with that, especially not in terms of power. If people want the better experience, and they're going to look at the Neo and look at the Scorpio around the same time frame when it's going to be a launch, they're definitely going to go with the Scorpio just because it is a way more powerful console.
Yeah.
So for them to release it right next to or really close to it is kind of suicide. Mm-hmm. I do think they were going to release it soon enough, and when their Scorpio does drop or gets released, Sony's just going to be like, oh, hey, and if they're smart, oh, hey, here's a price drop, maybe buy $100, just to completely undercut their Scorpio, unless Microsoft just sells it at like $400 and just takes a massive loss.
I think that's also the success of the PlayStation 2 back then. Was it was kind of interesting. You have the Dreamcast that came out, and Dreamcast practically died because of PlayStation 2 being more powerful than that, and also being a DVD player. But the PlayStation 2 came out before GameCube and Xbox. It was first. So it's one of the reasons it dominated that generation. But then, PlayStation 3, well, not so much. Kind of late to the party there. And the PlayStation 4, did pretty good. I think it was their marketing and how they communicated. I think it sold the console. Mm-hmm. So I don't disagree that this console needs to come out fast. It needs to come out quickly.
Yeah. I think it's coming out soon because every game, like I said, every game in October has to be Neo Pass already. Yeah. Neo compatible.
No, I do. I agree with you that it's smart to bring it out this year. It's got to come out. It's just kind of weird. It feels weird to me. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why. I'm so used to the trends, how consoles are being released, and it's always the holiday season. They'll have an announcement maybe a year before it launches, or the summer before it launches during the holiday season. So I get mentally prepared of when the console comes out, and it's just to me kind of unheard of. This is September. I mean, we're just a few months. We're 3 months away from December. Yes, honestly, I've never
one of the biggest holidays. One of the biggest marketing sales month.
So I don't know if people are going to be caught with their pants down and going where'd this come from? And then they get confused about last I know, PlayStation 4 is the latest console, but the hell is Neo? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's another factor. Naming of the console.
Oh, I was going to get to that. Yeah, that's going to be.
Should we talk about that later?
Talk about it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. But I do agree. Yeah, they need to come out with it now. Have a good marketing that way people could, distinct the difference between the two. Mm-hmm. So. I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot.
My bad.
Oh, you're good. I thought about it while you were talking, but now I forgot because your dog is there.
Yeah, whatever. Forget him. He's just listening to us. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so, yeah, I do remember now. It is smart for Sony to announce it right now. Yeah. Because right after that, September 7th? 6 days from that is Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. So they got their console out of the way, and so for Tokyo Game Show, it's all about games, and it's going to be.
That's how it should be too. I love Tokyo Game Show.
So now instead of talking about here's the Neo, is just going to be here's all the games for the Neo, which is smart, which is what Nintendo should be doing, but they're not. Yeah. Well, we don't know yet, but they haven't said anything.
I hope they talk more about Dragon Quest 11.
But it's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out soon.
I just want DQ11.
Mm-hmm, I do.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, and so with that said, the last thing I want to talk about is what should the name be for the PlayStation Neo? What do you think it's going to be, or what do you think it should be?
That's really tricky. I mean, I'm okay with Neo. I kind of dig that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But man, it's been weird because we've been calling the console's been called. With numbers. Then, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble talking myself now. All right, so let me start over real quick. We got the PlayStation. And then when they came out the next gen, it's going to be PlayStation 2. Next gen, PlayStation 3. So they've been sticking with the number system.
It's been easy. People know instantly, oh, that's the next PlayStation console. Easy. Yeah. No confusion.
And we've had discussion about, we were worried that this is going to be an upgrade where it's not necessarily a next gen console. But it's just weird about what we call it PlayStation 4.5.
Yeah, it's going to be a mid jump.
And maybe the name's not going to hurt it. I mean, we look at Xbox. Everyone kind of assumed because of PlayStation they were going to call it Xbox 2, which is why Microsoft said, "No, we're not going to call it Xbox 2 because you're grouping us with Sony PlayStation. We're not going to do that."
Yep. So hence the 360. Yeah. And then it went back to 1.
So, I like the name 360 because we just call it 360. It's kind of fun. Mm-hmm. And then, it would have been cool if they called it 720 or something else. I never liked that they called it 1. I didn't like that.
I didn't like that.
They could have called it anything. Mm-hmm. I would have been okay with it. Scorpio, yeah, I dig that. It makes sense, sure. Yeah. But for PlayStation, that's tricky because they've always been coming up with the numbers. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe it might be time for them to deviate away from the numbers. That I think they do have to come up with a name for it. Okay. I think Neo is fine, but they need to communicate with people about what kind of console is it. Because, you got the traditional PlayStation loyalists, or not necessarily loyalists, maybe just casual consumers. They have to know that this console is the next best thing after 4. So they do might have to market themselves and also communicate on those boxes, telling people this is the next step after 4.
Yeah. So do you have a name or?
I think I'll stick with Neo. I think Neo's just fine.
Do you think PlayStation Neo is fine? Even though they never stuck with a code name before?
No, they never did. Same with like Nintendo. Well, as of late, Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo never did either.
No, they had. Yeah. They had the
Dolphin.
The Dolphin.
Revolution.
Yep, the Revolution.
All right. You know what?
Even the Cafe, I believe, was one of Nintendo's.
Yeah, but I'm not great at coming up with names. That's the problem. Okay. Like, I can hear names, I can see names, and that grabs me. Okay. Me coming up with names. Look at my PlayStation username. I don't like it.
Yeah, they need to change it. Maybe when the Neo comes out, that will be in the next update.
Back when I had the Xbox 360, I didn't have a good name either. I didn't like that name. I was just trying to come up with something so I can play my games. I'm just being fast about it, and then it just ends up like regret. Okay. So I can't name a console.
Okay, that's fine. I think PlayStation Sony goes with the phone route. It's not going to be the next number. It's not going to be a 4.5 or...
It's going to be a PlayStation Xperia. We know how that worked out for them.
It's going to be the PlayStation 4K. They're going to add a letter to it, not a number. It's going to be 4K or 4S, or even 4 Plus, just to signify, because everybody knows that already. Because everybody has a smartphone, Android, 6S, 6S, iPhone 5, 6S. Everybody knows that the next S or the next letter, it does make it a slightly differentiate enough to be a factor.
I think that's a good marketing ploy. Strong communication with people, because everyone knows about smartphones. Everyone keeps track of it. I don't know how people do it. Why they always keep upgrading their Apple phones.
I don't know either. To be honest, this costs too much.
Yeah.
And one thing, and another name is just call it PlayStation.
Yeah. The PlayStation.
I don't know about drop the dud. Not even the just PlayStation, because if Microsoft and Sony are going for this, new iterative console cycle now, just name it PlayStation. So it's like, hey, here's the next PlayStation. It's going to be more powerful, and Xbox is just going to be Xbox now. So here's just the Xbox. Here's the new Xbox.
Yeah, I think it would be smart to go back to it, because why not? I mean, the PlayStation 1 was so many years ago. I mean, yeah, just call that.
Okay.
Just call PSX. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I do like the idea of 4K. I kind of dig that name just because of 4K TV kind of being the next big thing.
Yeah, and it kind of already rolls off the tongue, because people are kind of already used to seeing it already, like the PlayStation 4K. So
yeah.
All right, yeah, and that about wraps up all my questions about the PlayStation meeting. Anything else you'd like to add to the meeting?
No, nothing else. I think we've created our prediction, what we're hoping for, and I think it'll be fun to see if our predictions are right or not. I mean, we're not betting or anything, but it's always fun to check out these announcements, the videos, and get into it. But yeah, I would flip the table if they say backwards compatible people, PS2 and PS1. I guess before we end this, let me ask you this: do you think it should be backwards compatible on the discs, or should it just be download available on the PlayStation Store?
On both ways. If the game's already available on the PlayStation Store, have that already be compatible with the PlayStation 4 system, and then also allow software emulation. So when you do put in the older disc, it will be able to read it and play it off of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do want them to still keep track of my account, the PS1 games I bought in the past. I'm hoping hey, I can re-download it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, yeah, so that about wraps it up for us. So just stay tuned. It's definitely happening really quickly. So just come back next time. Hopefully our prediction gets right. And we will probably start predicting what is going to appear at Tokyo Game Show.
Yep.
All right, so see you next time. Tell us what you guys think is going to happen at Tokyo meeting, the PlayStation meeting.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, give us your good ideas. We'd love to hear.
Yep.
All right. Good night.